Hey everyone, it's Dinah, and we are back for episode number 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the second part of this double bill premiere they had. So yeah, the first episode was great. The first episode was a really solid intro to this new story and to this new era, to this new era in Obi-Wan's life. Pretty early on in his exile post Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, we saw him kind of living like a nice, kind of quiet hermit's life in Tatooine, just kind of working in the factory and doing, meat cutting and trying to stay quiet and not really kind of re-invoking the Jedi Order and not even actually helping out the Jedi. Like, he flat out refused to help Nari, and then Nari lost his life and everything, so that happened. And the Inquisitors have already made their kind of debut too. The Inquisitors came to Tatooine after hearing stories about Jedi doing stuff in the saloon and stuff, so they did that, and then they actually found him, and then they captured him later on after stuff happened, so that was the thing. So we met the Inquisitors, we met Fifth Sister, we met Third Sister, who was Reva, and then we met the Grand Inquisitor, who don't know if they have a sister. I can't remember if they actually have a sister title, but I think the Grand Inquisitor is the one who actually, very vocally kind of understands the Jedi's kind of tactics and the Jedi behavior and everything, and they're the one who actually, talks about the Jedi and lures them out and everything. But yeah, I think Reva has her own path going on. Reva is obsessed and fixated on actually finding Obi-Wan. She's actually obsessed with Kenobi and everything, so she wants to draw him out, and she did too. She concocted a plan to have some kidnappers kidnap none other than Leia Organa, young little Leia Organa, and everything, knowing that Obi-Wan has a connection to her as well and everything. So she organized her kidnapping to lure him out, knowing that eventually Bail would actually kind of reach out to Obi-Wan and have him try and track her down and everything. So that's the best way to get a Jedi as dedicated and as passionate as Obi-Wan out of hiding and everything. So we'll see exactly how that kind of thing goes. So that was interesting. But yeah, we have a little Leia Organa in this. We have young Leia in this. I think I don't know if they're gonna explore young Luke in the same way, because I think we saw the exact same glimpses of Luke in the episode that we saw in the trailer too, like Obi-Wan watching him from afar with the binoculars and him pretending to be like a pilot and everything, and even Obi-Wan actually got him like a little toy ship and everything that Owen then very brashfully kind of returned and everything. So Owen has also made his stance clear that he doesn't want Obi-Wan interfering with their lives, or even with Luke's life or anything. And stuff, and even kind of also made his stance a bit more passive aggressive with not handing him over to the Inquisitors when they came and everything. So yeah, so I mean, I think to be fair, I think Reva hasn't really made it. I think Reva knows that I think Reva has assumed that Owen had like a family, like a wife and a kid and everything. But I think she has, I think I'm not really sure she's made the same connection from Luke to Obi-Wan that she has from that she's made from Leia to Obi-Wan. But I think if she has, then she can easily go back to Tatooine herself and actually try and hunt down Luke, or hunt down Owen again or something. But then Obi-Wan will be kind of away and everything, so then there'll be no one to protect them. So it'll be pretty much like a really crazy double-edged sword. So yeah, that stuff has been done. But yeah, the young Leia, I think they've casted young Leia. They've given her like a prominent amount of screen time so far. So they're actually giving her like her youth and her childhood a proper backstory this time too, like her being raised under Bail and her being raised to be like a potential Senate and a senator and everything in the future and everything, and even her not really fully getting along with the younger kids, or at least like not getting along with her cousin, but then still being her mother's daughter and everything. So very intrigued to see where they go in that direction, especially because we haven't really seen like a lot of Leia's past in live action, or I don't know if they've actually covered her in any of the TV shows either, but like in Clone Wars or anything. But yeah, I think like especially in live action we haven't really seen much of her youth, so it'll be interesting to see exactly how they cover that in this as well. So that'll be fun. But yeah, in the very end, he finally gave in. He finally actually gave in and decided to actually help do the thing. I think Obi-Wan has been having dreams and nightmares night after night of everyone he's lost. He's been having nightmares about Anakin. He's been having nightmares about Qui-Gon, about Padme even, and like just people he's lost over the years and everything. And Yeah, I think I've seen the name Satine. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, like Satine or Satire. I think probably Satine. Seen that name pop up on social media quite a bit and everything. I know, don't know exactly who she is, but I know she is in the Clone Wars, and I know she is also like a character who's very important to Obi-Wan's kind of character in the Clone Wars and everything. So don't know if she's like a family member or like a love interest or something. But I think all I know is she's a female character, very important to Obi-Wan's character and to his arc and everything. So seeing that name pop up quite a bit too. So yeah, they didn't show anything. They never showed anything in those visions that I didn't fully recognize. I don't know if they actually kind of like if he's lost her too, or if like she's yet to pop up in those visions or whatever. But I think maybe to begin with, I think they're actually gonna they're not really giving away anything that like general kind of non Clone Wars viewers won't really recognize. So I think in soon enough time I'm gonna need to really kind of get ahead and delve into Clone Wars to really just kickstart my journey on that show in general, as well as to actually catch up on really important stuff. So yeah, but yeah, I think he's been having those visions, and he's also been trying to follow up on Yoda's advice and training, and actually kind of communicate with Qui-Gon's kind of Force Ghost and Force Presence and everything. So he's been trying that, but it hasn't really working as of yet. So I guess we'll see how that exactly how that goes soon enough. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I think overall, I think they've just done like a good job of actually kind of introducing Obi-Wan into this new kind of really depressing and really kind of isolating kind of era of his life where he's in exile. He's not only is he in exile, but he's actively and readily distancing himself from the old ways and from the Jedi ways, and actually trying to be as non-Jedi as he possibly can, to the point where he actually isolates from other people too. So yeah, but now the daughter of his fallen brother and friend is in danger, and he needs to rescue her and everything. So we'll see exactly how much of a survivor he is versus how much of a Jedi he still is. So it'll be interesting to see. So yeah, that is pretty much all I can remember from the last stuff. Besides from some other tidbits, that's all I can really recall. So on to episode number 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's get into it. Let's dive in.
Any credits?
Whoa! Is that a clone helmet? That's a clone helmet! Tamara! Is he a clone trooper? Oh, bearded Tamara! Oh, jeez. Oh, that can bring back some memories, huh? Jeez, this must be... Would that one... Oh, and there's the stormtroopers. Oh, they're here. Stormtroopers here too. So, would that be a clone that doesn't remember Order 66 or wasn't affected by it or something? Because I think, would Order 66 like still be in place, or... Because I think that's somehow like a surviving clone. But damn, a clone.
Well, if she's here, you're never gonna see her again. Nobody leaves this place.
Oh, that's comforting.
I was someone's daughter once, too.
Oh. Kumail Nanjiani! Oh, he's a Jedi! He's a Jedi! Damn, King overcame the Jedi.
You will let them through when they arrive.
I'll let them through when they arrive.
Oh,
Are you
jeez.
given safe passage to Corellia? I'm not leaving your mind.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, so force stuff through communicators.
So strong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You escaped safely.
We will never forget you.
You must. My safety depends upon it.
That's a good point.
All right, they're on their way. I'm gonna take a quick break, okay?
Oh, wait, no, is he faking it?
For a Jedi.
Is he faking it?
How'd you get in here?
Could he be faking
The
it?
girl has been kidnapped. I need your help to find her.
Oh, don't tell me he's faking it. He's not even a real Jedi.
500 to locate the girl. Another 300 to take you to her.
Goodness,
Seriously?
that light is
800.
unforgiving.
I mean, that's a really good deal.
Just that there's a lot of remotes and magnets.
Yeah, you lying.
Okay.
Ugh.
I know how this works.
Yes, it looks like you just took money from that family.
I got them safe.
Oh shit, is this like a meth lab? Is this an alien meth lab or like a spice lab maybe? An alien spice lab? Is this a spice lab? Breaking Bad in space?
Yeah, well, get back to work.
Right.
Oh. Oh gosh. Oh, Obi-Wan, you're out of practice. Oh. Okay. Oh. Spikes in the face. Oh.
Where's the girl?
No, oh, shit. Shit. Oh, well, there's a lightsaber. Oh, he did have his light. I forgot he had his lightsaber on him. I forgot.
You're not a Jedi anymore, Kenobi. You're just a man.
Oh, oh, spice. Spice, yeah, there we go. Spicy, spicy, spice. Oh, oh, Leia. Oh, it's Leia. It's Leia. Oh.
Your father sent me. I'm here to help you.
Oh, gee. Oh, no, he means Bail. I was thinking of her actual, that father. No, he meant Bail. He meant Bail.
You seem kind of old and
Oh, he's certainly seen better days.
To cross the city.
Okay, then let's go.
Wait.
Oh, cool. Hello. Need to be careful. Can we have an episode with Leia and Obi-Wan that has the same energy as Mando and Grogu?
It will not change what you are.
What is
that?
What is she?
The least of us. You came to us from the gutter. Your ability gave you station, but all the
Her
power
ability?
in the world.
Reva's not going to give up that easily. She ain't giving up that easily.
Send it across the city. I want them to squeeze him. He'll reveal himself eventually. And I will be.
And he's with Leia. He's with Leia. He's going to have to protect her the whole time. He is going to be cornered and outnumbered. Gosh, this is going to be a stressful episode, isn't it? It's going to be stressful. Is that a dinosaur?
You don't need those. And the gloves.
And the gloves.
If anyone asks, we're farmers from Tall, and you're my daughter.
Granddaughter, maybe.
Oh, God. So sassy. So sassy.
I read that Jedi can make things float. Make me float.
Leia, really? Now? You want to do this now?
No.
You think the less you say, the less you give away. But really, it's the opposite.
How old are you?
10.
You don't sound like you're 10.
Thank you.
Let's get to him first.
Oh, now the fake Jedi is going to go after the real Jedi just for a bit of money. Gosh, Kingo, what happened to you?
We'll be back in the palace, back to normal by nightfall.
Normal. Great.
Now who's hiding something, princess?
You don't have to call me that. I'm just Leia.
He was there when you were born. He literally held you. Had your mother naming you and everything.
Leia, listen.
How do I know you're not the real
You
kidnapper?
have to trust me, Leia.
You aren't a Jedi.
Your father is a very old friend.
I don't believe you.
Leia.
Leia, no, don't run off. No, oh, God, you're in a city you don't know with no one you know. Just, Leia. Next to nothing like Mando and Grogu. Yeah, he wouldn't leave his side. Leia just can't wait to get away. Whoa! Reminds me of like what is it, like walruses or sloth? I don't know. It reminded me of something. Oh jeez, space fish. Oh. Oh, dinosaur. No, Leia. Oof. Oh, gee, oh God, Reva. Oh, parkour. She can do parkour. Yes. Oh. Okay, Leia, no, you can't make that jump. Come on, Leia. No, there's no way you can make that jump. Oh, birds. Oh gosh. Oh, she has the Force. She is Force sensitive. That might be the abilities that gave her station. Yeah, she's Force sensitive. Oh, cable. Oh.
Hold on tight.
Can he use the Force?
Don't let go, Leia.
Oh, come on. You are one with the Force. The Force is with you. Come on. Oh, he made her float. Oh, God. It's been 10 years. And he made her float. 10 years later, he makes Leia Organa float.
All incoming and outgoing travel is cancelled.
Of course it is. Yeah, as soon as he's a Jedi and that's revealed, it's, yeah, all hands on deck.
Inquisitors. Many were Jedi who turned to the dark side.
Ah, okay, so that explains how she's forced. I mean, yeah, okay.
Have I made a few bad decisions? Sure. Do I feel bad about it? Sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Credits? Yeah. If you can buy with credits. You're not alone, Obi-Wan.
There are the Jedi out there. Other Jedi we can actually see, because we know Ahsoka is in Mandalorian, so could she show up? Oh gosh, he's gonna die, isn't he? He's gonna die, isn't he? Ooh.
Where is he?
Ah, that wasn't magnets, was it?
No, the real force doesn't require magnets.
I'm not gonna answer it.
She can search his mind. This is a weak mind. Yeah, that's the power of the real force, Haja. Yeah, not just magnets and tricks. Pain.
Is it that hard to believe you might have friends?
Well, he doesn't have much of a social life anymore, so kind of.
If somebody is offering us help, I think we should take it. Now come on. What now?
Nothing, you just remind me of someone.
Mm.
She was fearless too, and stubborn.
I'm not stubborn.
God rest her soul.
I'm not.
Or the force rest her soul.
Was your friend a Jedi too?
No, she was a leader. She died a long time ago.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
Obi-Wan.
Reva. Oh gosh. Oh god, a lightsaber duel, a lightsaber battle between the two of them. Is that what we gonna get? Is that what we're gonna get?
To take you to
To him?
Lord Vader will be pleased.
Oh, to Anakin. To Lord Vader.
He's alive, Obi-Wan.
Oh shit.
Anakin Skywalker is alive.
Mm.
He's been looking for you for a long time.
Oh gosh.
Will be the one to deliver you to me.
Watch and learn.
Oh!
Really think I'd let you take all the credit?
She killed the Grand Inquisitor. Reva just killed the Grand Inquisitor.
In the gutter now.
Oh shit, yeah, oh damn. Oh, there we go. Yeah, too late. Ship's going. Ship is disappearing, Reva. Oh god, now he knows though. Now he knows.
Anakin.
Oh, Anakin. Hayden. That has to be Hayden, right? That's got to be Hayden. That is so Hayden. That has to be Hayden. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah. Interesting part two. So where to start with this? So I mean, I'll start with the ending. So Obi-Wan now knows that Anakin is alive. That ending alone, and I think especially because we know that Hayden Christensen is in this. He's been promoted, at least like as an actual cast member. He's been promoted to pretty much the same extent as Ewan McGregor as well. So I think that kind of like, I mean, for me at least, that leads me to believe that he has to be in this almost as much as Obi-Wan is. So it makes me wonder like how much of Lord Vader we'll see, how much of Anakin we might see too. Maybe we might see Anakin going through the same thing where he has visions and dreams of stuff, but then it's like visions of pain with Padme, but then visions of anger with Obi-Wan, because then he hates Obi-Wan and everything after what happened, but then he still misses Padme and he still maybe even feels remorse or something. So remorse and guilt, pain over that, but then hatred and anger towards Obi-Wan and everything. And especially because he's included in the Inquisitor, he's included in Reva's kind of Inquisitor claim that they've been looking for Obi-Wan for over 10 years, for 10 years now, since everything went down, because Anakin desperately wants, Obi-Wan, at this point anyway, Anakin desperately wants Obi-Wan dead and everything, so there's that stuff. So yeah, but now Obi-Wan actually discovers, because I think he definitely left Mustafar and like thinking and believing that Anakin died, that either he would actually fall further and further off that kind of mudslide into the lava, but even then his body burned. So I'm pretty sure that Obi-Wan believed that either he would fall into the lava or that he would actually be too burned and injured to actually live on after that. So he really didn't expect that Anakin would survive, let alone become Lord Vader. So that kind of stuff happened. But yeah, no. So now he knows that Anakin is alive. That Anakin survived like for 10 years. Since then he's been alive and kicking and screaming and in pain, and just like the new kind of like dark leader of the Sith and everything, and the Empire under Palpatine, of course, So yeah, and that ending alone, like that, like Ewan just kind of just silently just pulled off that ending perfectly of Obi-Wan being like actually thrown down like an even darker and deeper rabbit hole of despair after finding out that like his deepest and darkest friend is still alive and well to this day, but now even angrier because of Obi-Wan's continued existence, and now he's looking to find him. But now he knows Anakin is alive there still, or at least his body is, but like now his mind is now fully consumed by the dark side and everything, so now he's fully Lord Vader and everything. But then deep down, all that's left of Anakin is the twisted kind of innocence twisted by the dark side and everything, that's now like remains just kind of angry and vengeful towards Obi-Wan because of what just happened. So there's that kind of stuff. So going to be very interesting to move forward, knowing that that's what their kind of dynamic going forward is, at least until even in A New Hope, they don't exactly end things off on the best of terms. Anakin literally ends up killing Obi-Wan. So going to be interesting seeing how this new kind of dynamic actually goes forward, and how Obi-Wan himself actually moves forward in his life, knowing that Anakin is out there and he's actively sent the Inquisitors to hunt him down. Even Reva is the one within the Inquisitors to actually kind of have the strongest kind of vengeance trip towards Obi-Wan. So, and knowing that that's what she's working towards too, the fact that once she finds him, she'll capture him and maybe even dismember him if necessary, but then actually capture him and hand him over to Lord Vader and everything. So yeah, and I think especially with them both being so, like, not only I called Reva Force sensitive, but I think Force wielder might be more accurate, because I feel like Force sensitive is actually used to describe people who actually show signs of being literally sensitive to the Force. Like they have little abilities here and there that they can then train to unlock more Force sensitivity, to unlock more Force sensitive for Force kind of. To unlock more Force, like I don't know if you can really unlock midichlorians. I think midichlorians actually, the M count in your body actually determines exactly how Force sensitive you are. But then I think this is how it works. Because then if you like have low Force sensitivity, because then but then midichlorians actually determine the like your connection to the Force. So then if you unlock, like if you're Force sensitive, but then maybe if you actually train it, and then you unlock more of the Force within you, maybe that unlocks more midichlorians in you, because everyone still has like red blood cells or blood cells in general and organs and stuff, and like that keeps them alive, but then the midichlorians in them are what connect them to the Force. So then if they have like enough of an M count in them to actually indicate low Force sensitivity, and they train that, then maybe that can actually unlock more Force sensitivity in them. So I don't know, maybe that's how it works. But yeah, I think Force sensitivity to my understanding is someone who shows low sensitivity who shows enough like potential in wielding the Force so that they can then be trained. But then once they do start wielding the Force, they then become a Force wielder. So then Reva wouldn't be Force sensitive anymore; she'd be a Force wielder. So yeah. So Reva is a Force wielder. So then, even Anakin and Obi-Wan are both Force wielders too, and extremely powerful ones too. Like Obi-Wan is an extremely powerful Jedi, and or at least he used to be. And Anakin is an extremely powerful Sith Lord as well. So he's very powerful in his own Force. And I think especially because the dark side of the Force being as offensive and as powerful and as as directive as it is to, like, that one is designed literally to attack as well, is arguably even more powerful too. So then, yeah, because I feel like almost anything used in aggression can always be more powerful than anything used in like a defensive way. So I think the dark side of the Force is then inherently more powerful because it lets you do more using your own aggression and using your own hatred and everything like that. So yeah, but then because they're both Force wielders and also both like very, very Force powerful in both physicality and mentality, I feel like then does that open the doors for us to see them communicating instead? Like maybe if Obi-Wan can't reach Qui-Gon well enough or quickly enough, then maybe he might still he might instead try and reach out to someone that he now knows is still alive, and then he's actually Lord Vader, who's actually a Sith Lord now. So then maybe because they work between Rey and Ben, like both of them being kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum in the sequels and everything. So maybe this could allow Obi-Wan to actually try and reach out to I was about to say Luke. Maybe it could allow Obi-Wan to reach out to Anakin. Maybe it could allow him to reach out to someone who's actually still alive and still very well trained and well versed in the Force and everything. If that happens, that means that that after 10 years of this, we'll have Obi-Wan finally trying to reach out to Anakin and trying to communicate with him and everything, and then that'll either end in Anakin actively hunting him down and even actually kind of being able to get like an even stronger signal on him, or it could mean that we actually get the briefest of conversations between them that results in Anakin getting even angrier at Obi-Wan or something. So either way, it could go like a lose-lose, win-lose or something. So it will be interesting to see exactly where they kind of actually take that and take us in that direction. If Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan now knowing that Anakin is alive actually kind of encourages him to actually use the Force even more, to actually be able to hone his communication skills even more too. Because then maybe also the fact that he hasn't used the Force in 10 years also could be a good enough reason. Like maybe if in those 10 years he hasn't tried to contact Qui-Gon as much until now, maybe that could be like a reason why too. So then, after 10 years now, the Inquisitors are coming here. I mean, no, because the Inquisitors were still a thing in Fallen Order, and that was 5 years ago. So so because of that, I think the Inquisitors have definitely been around, but I think maybe then they haven't really come to Tatooine. I think maybe they haven't come to Tatooine because it hasn't been as important until that one until Nari came along and saved the saloon. Because again, Obi-Wan has been doing. I think Nari was the one who was still believing in the Jedi, fighting the Jedi Order, and he actually used his powers to help people, and then that drew attention and everything. So I think until then, the Inquisitors probably just haven't really bothered to actually hit up Tatooine or anything. So because of that, Obi-Wan has had no reason to use his powers, and he's actively refrained from using his powers and has had no trouble with doing that. So then because of that, after 10 years, he's tried to contact Qui-Gon, but then the Force stuff isn't working. So especially because he's actually trying to talk to someone who's been dead within the Force for so long, so it doesn't work. But now it might get actually contacting someone who's actually so powerful with the Force and so well connected to the Force, but also still alive, might be the leeway he needs to actually finally re-unlock his abilities within the Force. So we can see exactly how that goes. So yeah, should be an interesting path for the story to take. So yeah, And yeah, we find out some stuff about Reva too, that Reva came from the gutter and everything. So I think maybe she actually kind of, I think she's a Force wielder too. So I think, I think Obi-Wan mentioned about how many Inquisitors are actually Jedi who turned over to the dark side. So then maybe then I think especially the Grand Inquisitor actually kind of called Reva the least of them too. So then maybe because she wasn't an original Sith, maybe she literally was maybe she actually was one of them. Maybe she was a Jedi who turned to the dark side. And then so then because of that, she was a Jedi who was captured, but then maybe she offered her services. Maybe she actually was so scared and so kind of, in disbelief of any kind of remaining Jedi kind of orders or Jedi codes or anything, that she then kind of offered her services to the Sith and offered in order to stay alive. Maybe she then offered her powers and her servitude to the Sith in actually hunting down other Jedi now too. So maybe, just maybe, and then of course I think maybe to prove her loyalty too, then she offered to actually help track down Kenobi, but then because of how high ranking he is, it's taken them 10 years to fucking find the guy, so then they literally had no leads, they didn't know where he was or anything, so now Reva has been searching for him for 10 years, and that's been her main claim to fame too, like her being an Inquisitor, like she's actually kind of sworn to find Obi-Wan out of all the Jedi and everything, and especially knowing how much he means to Lord Vader as well. She's actually made she's sworn some kind of oath to find him and gain like an even higher ranking or something. So who knows? But I think that could be maybe what they mean came from the gutter. Like I mean, besides from her maybe also being like a homeless Jedi, but maybe like or like an actual lower class Jedi. But then her being like a Jedi too, her being something that was like such a sworn enemy to the Sith to begin with. Maybe she actually is seen as lesser because she came from the opposing side onto the winning side. So maybe that could be it. So yeah, but she's a Force wielder, so she's very capable, and she's so badass. She's so cool. I think she's making for like a really cool and entertaining kind of villain so far, with like a really kind of interesting and potential kind of backstory and everything. So really excited to see where they actually go with her, and now like her having like that kind of connection to Lord Vader, and her using Lord Vader to try and get into to Obi-Wan's head and everything. Is really interesting. So seeing how far she's willing to go and how far she's already gone to actually get this far and everything is going to be really cool to see. So yeah, I think I think that makes for like an interesting kind of story too. The fact that many Inquisitors are actually Jedi who turned over to the dark side too. Because I think that kind of thing isn't really unheard of either. I think especially it's like to me it sounds like a reverse of Operation Paperclip. That thing that happened after World War II of like Nazi scientists being recruited by the US government for strategic and research value and everything. So like it sounds like to me like the opposite of that. So then after the war's won on the Sith's end, they then recruit to actually kind of drag in kind of Jedi people, any remaining Jedi, and then I think maybe in some cases too they could have actually forced them to turn to the dark side in case, like I think some of them could have been like, you know, maybe like the Sith themselves could have been like, okay, well you clearly show potential and you have great fear in you, so you could use that fear to actually turn over to the dark side and join us or something. But yeah, so I think maybe that could have happened with Reva. I think that could have happened with Reva, but I think maybe also with Reva, with Reva and some others, maybe it could have also been a case of like, you know, they were so scared and so alone and so far in disbelief of the Jedi Code anymore that they then literally like as a survival tactic, they then literally kind of actually turn themselves over and actually offered to help fight for the Sith cause and everything. So yeah, but I think maybe if Reva herself really, because then she's also skilled. She also has a lightsaber, which not all Imperial people have. Not all Imperial troops have. I think probably only really like Sith lords and Sith apprentices actually have lightsabers and everything. So and now clearly the Inquisitors too. So I think but not all like Imperial kind of troops actually have lightsabers or. I think because of that, I think with her having a lightsaber and her being a Force wielder too, I think it kind of like does make for like a slightly more interesting backstory if she really is like a former Jedi who turned over and now is kind of intent on surviving and gaining like a higher rank and everything, and gaining more trust through the capture of one of the most prolific kind of Jedi warriors in history. So yeah, so that kind of stuff's interesting. And he specifically the Grand Inquisitor specifically said like her abilities gave her station within the Inquisitor squad and within the Sith Empire too. So her abilities, like her being a Force wielder, was always what gave her the kind of higher up of like knowing that she was valuable and useful and everything. So her being a Force wielder, her knowing how to use it and everything, and also probably her either being trained in lightsaber combat or even being willing to be trained in lightsaber combat too. So yeah, so interesting stuff. And there was that homeless clone trooper too. I need to talk about that real quickly. So there's that, I think there was like a homeless clone trooper, the guy, and he was on the streets begging, asking for money and everything, so they had to be homeless. But he was a clone trooper. He was a clone vet and bearded Tamara Morrison too. I very nearly didn't recognize the clone trooper helmet because it looked so different. But then actually to look upside down and actually see the eyes kind of the eye visor imprints on it and everything, but then the voice also tripped me up too, because I've heard that voice, because again we've had the Book of Boba Fett not too far behind, like pretty much at the beginning of this year, I'm pretty sure. You know, so like that's been fairly recent, and you know Tamara's voice I think is almost like iconically recognizable within the Star Wars franchise as like a whole and everything, given how much voice work he's done. and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, like his voice tripped me up, and then but then I saw the helmet, and I was like, oh my god, that has to be a clone trooper. And then I actually showed him with the beard and the hair and everything, so it's like an actual kind of like a clone trooper that's, you know, grown out the hair and stuff, and aged and everything. So that's a clone trooper as well. It's an actual clone trooper. So kind of makes you wonder, like, I mean, because again, like, this being set after everything that happened, especially after Order 66, I think made me wonder, like, you know, like, is that like a now defective clone trooper, or is that like a clone trooper that doesn't remember what happened, or maybe has moved past Order 66 or something? So I don't know. I've no. I mean, also don't even know if that clone trooper is actually meant to be relevant, because I think, you know, like, the Bad Batch is like another kind of group of actual relevant and more prominent kind of clones. Because I think I've also learned that, like, also very slightly learned that, like, some of the clones are actually very relevant to the story too. So some of them have names and actual identities, and they're actually prominent. They're actually properly kind of prominent figures throughout the story as well. So, like, not all of them are just like not all of them are just like Clone Trooper 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Like, some of them actually have names, and then they're actually kind of woven in, and they actually kind of interact with the actual story and with the other characters really properly and everything. And like the Bad Batch is like this whole kind of own show with different clone troopers that have their own defects and everything and their own names. So with this one, I don't know if he's meant to be the same, or if it's just meant to be like a cool kind of clone trooper cameo that kind of ties in and kind of and like, you know, even seeing like a clone trooper as well actually kind of like sent like Obi-Wan's kind of heart down, and with like a reminder of what happened and everything he lost and everything, because of how the clones were kind of like you know, like sabotaged to do everything they did. So yeah, that cameo caught me off guard. So nicely done, Star Wars, nicely done. And then of course we had Kumail Nanjiani as well as a fake Jedi. I was actually hopeful that he would be a real Jedi. I was so hopeful that he'd actually be like a real Jedi with real powers and everything. But then that little kind of tidbit of the walkie-talkie call on the end, and then it being revealed that he actually uses magnets and buttons and stuff to force the windows and doors open and down and everything. So he's just like he's a con man. He's a con man essentially. And I think he reminds me so much of like those, because I'm pretty sure, like, I think fortune tellers. I mean, I've never really heard of, like, I think everything, like, all the stories I've heard about fortune tellers to kind of talk about how they're deceptive and how they use trickery and deceit and stuff, and they eventually just kind of dupe you out your money and everything. So I've never personally heard any kind of authentic or truthful stories about fortune tellers. But I think it reminds me of those kind of those stories I've heard about fortune tellers, about how they will dupe you out your money and how they trick you into thinking they're real and all that kind of stuff. And I think his name was Haja. He had a second name too, but I can't remember it. But I think Haja. And I think, to be fair, I think he wasn't doing anything. I mean, he was misleading people. He was definitely lying to people and misleading them. But then his his intent was still to actually send them through to safety and everything. Like his intent was still like because he loved credits and everything. And I think he never intentionally wanted anyone to get hurt as a result of what he was doing. But then he was still sending that mother and her son to safety. And I think especially also maybe even actually kind of his primary thing actually kind of being getting Force sensitive people off the planet and actually getting them to safety and everything. So yeah, was he a dick? Maybe. Did he love credits? Hell yes. Was he lying? Definitely. But you know, I think I was so hopeful that he would actually be like. He wasn't like an inherently like a bad guy. I think even once he found out about the bounty, he still actually helped him. He still actually wanted to make amends, and he still helped Obi-Wan and Leia actually get to where they need to go and everything. But no, Kingo the movie star turned into Kingo the lying star. So yeah, I mean, being a movie star, being an actor is still professional. Is just still lying in, like, to an extent. So either way, but yeah, I doubt we'll see him again. But if we do, then, you know, that'll be its own thing. But yeah, I think. But I mean, he still worked to be his own character, and he was still funny as all hell. I think makes because I feel like even if even if he actually was a real Jedi, I feel like that is exactly the way he'd be too. Like he'd be an actual funny Jedi. He'd be like an actual comedic kind of Jedi, and he did like Kumail is like actually gonna makes it like a really kind of good kind of comedic like a comedic actor and a comedic star too. So I think he can definitely gonna pull off comedy in his own way and everything. So I think even if they actually had made him like a real Jedi, who maybe like they could have even done that, like maybe, you know, actually make him like a real Jedi who actually was using his powers for money and actually using his powers to, help people get to where they need to go. But then in the end, it's like, no, he is just aware of the Jedi. Like, he is aware of the Jedi, like everyone else around him. But then he uses their powers, and he duplicates their powers in like a more non-powered way to get money and to get rich quick and everything. So yeah, but in the end, he still helped them out and everything. So he made amends. So that was cool. And then of course we have Leia and Obi-Wan thing, and yeah, I think I definitely kind of felt like a similar-ish kind of I think to begin with, I definitely felt like a similar-ish kind of dynamic of like Mando and Grogu, of them two being like the kind of father-child dynamic thing going on. But I think with this one, they very rightfully and very kind of very kind of accurately and like enjoyably actually made it their own thing. It may have felt like Mando and Grogu to begin with, but I think they definitely very quickly kind of turned into turning into like an accurate and authentic kind of Obi-Wan and Leia kind of portrayal too. And I think it's again, it's so good to see them like to see him being able to interact with her as a child, knowing that he didn't really kind of get to know her much. And I mean maybe it does kind of change how you see it in the future, because again, I think to my knowledge, I think there's nothing really truly to properly indicate that he actually does know her that well as a child when she's an adult, and like their interaction. I think it doesn't really kind of maybe it doesn't fully change their interactions or like actually modify them in any way, but I think it also doesn't really kind of nullify them or actually kind of change them in like a negative way either. So I think it definitely just shows that he actually did know her as a child. I think maybe even as a child too, I think even in this we kind of see him actually kind of still being able to see the Padme in her. Like he's actively able to see the Padme, like her stubbornness, her fierceness, her kind of headstrongness in this little girl too. Like he's able to sell it. He's able to see and say that yeah, you are definitely your mother's daughter. You are definitely Padme Amidala's daughter and everything. So see, like, to actually see that too, like even him actually referencing like, oh, you remind me of a friend of mine too, but she died and everything, but she was like a strong lady. She was strong, she was a leader, she was stubborn, and like every piece of her is in you too. So seeing that kind of thing happen too is really good to see. So yeah, but I think the entire episode is just like her kind of being really kind of skeptical and really reluctant to kind of trust him or go along with him, given that she knows nothing about him. But also the fact that I think on the one hand, she has been kidnapped and placed into a strange room, and then he's the next person that she sees. But on the other hand, I think maybe some trust could come from the fact that he's the only one to have actually come for her, and he got her out of that room and is now taking her away from the place. So I think maybe that kind of should or could kind of leeway some trust into the situation. But then to be fair, she's a child, she doesn't know where she is, and she kind of knows even less about the guy who actually came to find her and everything. So she has some, I think especially as like a child alone on like a strange planet too, I think she pretty much does have some entitlement to kind of trust and to mistrust and judge everything she sees and hears and everything. So that is pretty true. Yeah, even the fact that she kind of doubts the entire time that he could possibly be a Jedi, or that he can possibly have the Jedi powers or anything, and like her kind of her initial request to be like, oh, if you're a Jedi, then that means you have the Force and you can make me float, so go ahead, make me float, which he did by then, I think that scene of him making her float too, and actually saving her life by making her float too, just so good. And I think especially especially the fact that it actually takes a while, and he actually actively has to tap back into the Force again. 10 years of not using the Force, and he has to actively push himself and pull himself back into it, and actively tap into the Force and use that kind of strength and reutilize that kind of strength and that kind of power and everything. And at the last minute he manages to do it. He manages to make her float and everything. So and he saves her life, but in doing so seeing that scene kind of unfold was so good too. I think like both of them being on the run and him kind of being on the verge of being shot at too, but then him still finding the time to use the Force to try and save her life and everything was so cool. So like that whole kind of like their whole kind of I think their whole kind of dynamic in this episode was just so well constructed and so well written and acted and everything. So definitely, I think if this episode and the next episode, are just the adventures of Obi-Wan and Leia, I would be all for it. I would be absolutely all for it, and I would be completely happy to kind of see it unfold and then to see exactly what direction they take her in. Because I mean, his mission is still to bring her home. His mission isn't to carry her around space and go on adventures. But I think it's actively bring her back home to her parents and everything, because they are expecting her. So yeah, but the thing, whatever shenanigans they get up to in the meantime on the way home, I'd be all here for it, and seeing exactly how she reacts to it in her usual kind of sassy princess way, and then how he tries to dismantle the situation, and even actually try and actually kind of handle her, and her stubbornness and her kind of sass and everything is just gonna be the wildest thing to see. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun. And I think going forward too, it's going to be interesting seeing like how Leia's kind of perception of her world changes too. Like even like her starting off being like thinking that all the Jedi are dead and they're gone and everything, but then finding out that he's Obi-Wan, and even the fact that she's such a quick learner, she catches on to things so quickly too. I think she found out who he was through the hologram and found out why he was there and then why she was there too. Like being like, oh, because then I think, does that mean that like not only does he does that mean that then not only does she know who he is, but then she knows why he's there too? Like the fact that, like, or at least why he's connected to her. Because then the fact that she actually caught on to him, the fact that she caught on to the fact that she was there because of him and everything, kind of makes me want kind of makes me want does she then know that she's connected to him because he's Obi-Wan and her mother was Padme, or because because then that was, I think that was pretty, I think, or at least like the connection like from her to Obi-Wan was why Reva actually used her. That was why Reva used the girl as bait. So then makes you wonder like exactly how much of her history she's actually aware of, because then her future also, like for her, like her future doesn't look very pleasant or engaging or bright. Like she doesn't want to be a senator. She's been chastised by her own cousin for not being a true Organa, and she's having trouble fitting into the family and everything. So then makes me wonder if she might actually kind of actually try and investigate or actually find out more about her past and where she comes from. And exactly who this Obi-Wan figure is in her life, that she was actually worth kidnapping to actually lure him out and everything. So I do wonder if this series might kind of hint at that, if it might hint at that, or actually explore that a little bit, or maybe if it might have, because then she meets Obi-Wan in this, but then in A New Hope she actively does actually trust him enough to actually send a message in R2 to get to him, and then to be like, help me Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. So then she actively does trust him enough by then, and know him enough by then to actually to send a message and everything. So then does make me wonder, like, if this season, or if the series actually might end up showing her investigating more of her past and finding out more of who Obi-Wan is, and then finding out that he knew her mother and her father and stuff like that, and then seeing exactly like how much more she can learn and how much more she will learn and everything. So I guess we can see. I guess we can wait and see. But then Reva killed the Grand Inquisitor. Reva also killed the Grand Inquisitor, so he's gone and he's dead. So so then she's she's now fully, I think, all the more headstrong in her quest to find Obi-Wan, and also like not willing to let anyone take the credit or take the credit in finding him or anything. So she wants it to be known, especially by Lord Vader, that she was the one who found Obi-Wan and she was the one who tracked him down after years of no one else succeeding. So she wants that credit all to herself, and I think now going forward now she also might actually try and maybe even take up like a leadership position with the rest of the Inquisitors and actually actively lead like an actual proper manhunt and everything for Obi-Wan. So I think the rest of the season is about to get a lot trickier and a lot heavier and a lot more dramatic. So I guess now no one else saw this. I think she can easily say that Obi-Wan actually managed to get into a confrontation. She can easily pass off a story that Obi-Wan actually confronted the Grand Inquisitor and actually killed them, but then she found the body or something. But then because I think lightsabers don't really leave behind any particular kind of actual marks besides from noticeable lightsaber marks. I'm not sure you can actually differentiate between like a Jedi lightsaber and a Sith lightsaber, because I think they're both like they have different kind of like color stuff to them. But I think for the most part they do operate in near enough the same way. So I think you can't really you can't properly like differentiate between what's like a Jedi lightsaber and a Sith lightsaber. So I don't know if they'll actually try and be able to figure that out, or even try and figure that out. But then I think if she gets to them in time and she can actually pass off the story that Obi-Wan killed him or something, then maybe then she can actually kind of get away with it for now, and then move on to being a leader and actually kind of leading the hunt for Obi-Wan. So I guess we'll see. But I am very, very much looking forward to seeing how Reva approaches the situation going forward now, and how Obi-Wan actually moves forward, knowing what he does, and having the knowledge he now possesses, and actually having Leia under his wing for like a little bit longer. So should be interesting. And I think I'm also curious to see exactly like how much more time it's going to take for him to actually slip back into his Jedi form too. Because then I think also like by the time we see him in episode 4, I think he's still the same hermit living on Tatooine, but then he's also not as unskilled in his powers, or like he's not as unversed in his powers. Like in A New Hope, I think that still shows that time has passed since he's used his powers, but I think he's still knowledgeable in the Force, and he's still knowledgeable with the lightsaber and everything. So then he's still, I think he's in his old age, so I think he does fight slow because of that. But then for the most part, I think he still knows what he's doing and everything. So I think because of that, I think in that sense too, I think this series actually kind of feels like it's at the right kind of stepping stone to show how he's gone from having completely kind of abdicated his powers and abdicated his kind of position as a Jedi in the Order and everything, to then having to pick stuff up again slowly. I think this season might potentially be like a great way to do that, to actually kind of pick stuff up again, and to actually kind of relearn all the old ways and do it for the sake of survival, but also kind of like for the sake of actually kind of like reigniting some kind of hope in the Jedi and everything. So we can see, but then I think that might take like a bit longer too, considering that even by A New Hope, like the Jedi are not fully reinstated or fully kind of reborn or anything. So then even then, I think he's going to be fighting as a Jedi, not to reignite the flame or to reignite the old order, but I think he's going to be fighting as a Jedi to actually kind of help himself survive, and he's going to be fighting as a Jedi. Like the only way he really knows how to fight is as a Jedi too, like using the Force and using a lightsaber and everything. Like everything else we saw in this kind of got him by, like he still took hits and delivered them and everything, but then for the most part his actual kind of survival and his actual winning kind of combat and his winning tactics are that of the Jedi. So I think he's gonna have to pick a few of those up to actually be able to make it through the series again. So it's gonna be interesting seeing him actually pick those up and become the man he once was, even like if he insists he's not, and then even the kidnapper at the beginning being like, you're not a Jedi anymore, you're just a man now. So him actually using other tricks too, like him using the jar of spice to take them out and everything. So it's gonna be interesting seeing if it is like a mix of the two, like seeing it like if it's a mix of cunning and deceit and stuff, and then also some Force and lightsaber stuff on the side as well. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have from this one so far. I think I don't know if I've really missed out anything like too much else. I think that's most of the stuff I want to cover, and most of the little tidbits and everything too. So yeah, a really fun episode too. A really fun episode too. I can't wait to see where they go from here with the story, and where they go from here with Obi-Wan and everything, and Reva and Leia and everything. So seeing how everything kind of continues from here should be fun, and seeing how at what point we might see more of Anakin, kind of his uprising, and him actually coming on as Darth Vader too, will be interesting to see, and what they can do with him, and how they can incorporate him into this, and how they can connect him and Obi-Wan together in this, if they do at all. Should be fun, and seeing more of Reva and her kind of continued hunt for Obi-Wan, and her kind of continued kind of servitude under the Inquisitors and everything as a potential new leader too, will be fun. So yeah, that is pretty much all I got. So that was Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1 episode 2. So thank you guys as always so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and comment what you thought of the episode and everything, and what your theories are and what you hope to see, and what you think might happen in the future and everything. Once again, full-length reaction over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So until the next time, bye bye for now.